Welcome back to the Faith and Work Hour with your host, Anthony Knight, and my co-host,
Christopher White.
No, I don't call you the name. I'm just gonna let you know I'm not gonna call the name, man. You can call your own name.
Oh, okay.
Cause that's like I'm doing double work now.
Oh.
You
Start over.
No,
I
we
gotta
good.
edit that out.
I want that to stay in.
You want that to stay in there so
it
can kind of show that, it is a little difficult in
No, that is
being in public.
every this is individuality.
Nobody's perfect.
That's right. Nobody's perfect.
That's great. That's great.
We're gonna start off like we do every morning with a inspirational quote, and the one I'm gonna pick today is, one of the happiest moments in life is when you find the courage to let go of what you can't change. Once you figure out you can't change it, you gotta let it go. If you keep trying to, it's just like what they say, if you don't like the weather, you can't change it. You can't change the weather. You can change your environment though.
You can hope for better.
That's it. Well, we got a couple of subjects that we're going to get into today, and both of them are deeply disturbing. So we're going to go into, we're going to come right at you parents right now. Parents and grandparents and so on and so on. Would y'all please, if you got small kids in the back of your car, would you please do not leave them in there for 8 hours.
8 hours.
In the hot sun. If it's 90 degrees outside with the windows up with a cough, it's 100. But you're not allowed. We get too many of these stories of parents leaving their kids, forgetting their kids in the back seat. You brought something to me the other day, and I had to think about it. It takes 1 second to look in the back seat.
Yes, sir.
It does not take a lot of effort. I don't have any kids, but this young man does. So I'm gonna turn the floor over to him because he can talk a little bit more in depth about it. But would y'all just be mindful? If you got young kids, would you please be mindful to check in the back seat? You can't be that busy or that forgetful to leave a young child in the back seat in this kind of weather for 8 hours.
That's hard to believe because, I have a 5-year-old,
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have it with me all the time, but I do get him when I'm home on the weekend because I'm a truck driver. But when I have him with me, I'm always mindful, and especially when something becomes a regular routine, if I got a child I drop him off at daycare every day.
Yeah.
Or, that becomes a routine for me. So even when I get out my car, I'm gonna look around. I talked to you the other day about the rearview mirror. I said, if you used to doing a routine every day, you're gonna check. You're gonna look around, especially if you got a young child. Even driving down the road, I drive down the road and check my son in the rearview mirror.
Yeah.
So to blatantly just say that you forget, and I know and I know we're, part of the video show that no one's perfect. No matter what you do, you're never perfect.
But that can be avoided.
But that can be really avoided, especially if a routine that you're doing regularly. And it always that you went to work and you forgot to take your child to daycare. So do you have to drive by your job to go to the daycare?
Yeah.
And like I said, I know we all make mistakes.
Yeah, exactly.
But, I'm not going to get out my car without looking around.
But that mistake causes a life.
It's costly.
That's very costly. That's a very costly mistake. And we hear about this way too often.
Yes, sir.
It's a lot more than we need to. And this all comes back because of an article you read that happened in North Carolina? Virginia. Okay.
Where the grandmother went to work for 8 hours and left the child in the backseat of the car. Life is real.
It is.
I don't think that there's no way you can explain it. Not if it's constantly something that it's routine. When we drive trucks and we do our inspections, there's a regular routine of certain areas that we go in. We go from A to, let's just say Z, all the way around to do an inspection.
Yeah.
Because we're checking to make sure, because it's routine for us to do it. And we know that it's something that we're doing daily and every day. And that's, man. So I done went to work and I forgot my child. You mean I didn't look back? I didn't grab my purse out the car. You know, there's some kind of way your peripheral vision.
And I read the article you talking about. The woman was only 51, 53 years old, right? Yeah, so just not that old.
No.
Now,
memory's still good. You know, unless you have some issues going on that she don't know about or somebody don't know about, and
you won't leave this in the car.
No, you gonna grab. And most people have their phone where? On the seat.
On the seat. So that's rough. And the one that really pissed me off, I'm just gonna say it. You went in the nail salon, get your nails done, leave your child in the back seat for 3-4 hours. We done read cases they went grocery shopping. Police had to break the window out to get the kid out.
And look, can I speak from a point of
Please do.
A view of,
Please do.
Of knowing how hot it gets?
Right.
As I said earlier, I drive trucks, so I've got in Texas. And there's a generator on our back on the side of the truck that runs our air conditioning for when we park because we can't leave the truck running. And when it goes out, the heat comes inside that truck. You can't stay there. And man, when I was there, it was 112 degrees. That's what my gauge was showing. So for a child, I couldn't take it.
No.
You know, and I prefer heat. I did construction work for years, 20 years or more in construction work, working out in the sun. Been out there where it's 100 but now, man, this heat here.
It's all that heat.
And I can just imagine and can feel what that child is suffering and going through.
That's no words for that.
Yeah, and I mean, as a dad, I don't think there's a way you want to explain it.
I don't think you can. You can't be.
And I believe accidents happen, and no, they do. We're not perfect, but I mean that one there is. I don't think you can explain it to me. But
let me ask you a question, and I'm not jumping on this particular woman or any of them.
No, we're just speaking.
We're just speaking.
This is the public being aware.
I don't see how you can do that. Because you told me something, we was talking yesterday, and you said, when you get out of the car, what do?
Yes, sir.
You look in the back seat.
Yes, sir.
It's a habit.
Yes, sir.
I look in the back. I know there's nobody back there, but I look in the back seat.
Yes, sir.
You can't be in this big of a hurry where you allow your grandson, son, daughter, or whatever, do they realize that mirror is like a magnifying glass?
Yes, sir. And the sad part about it is, if I stop somewhere, the first thing I hear out my son's mouth, Daddy, can I get out? I can understand it's up to infant. They're not going to speak it, but...
They're in the car seat, right?
They're in the car seat. But here's the other story. Here's the other side. She didn't realize that she left the baby in the car until she went to pick the baby up from daycare. So you mean to tell me you done went to work for 8 hours, the baby's in the back seat of your car. You done went to work for 8 hours. Even when you get in your car, you don't look around, but you don't see your baby until you don't realize that this will happen until you get to the daycare to go pick him up.
To me, you correct me if I'm wrong. To me, when I walk to my truck, and I got a truck, and the windows are tinted. When I'm walking to my truck, I'm looking through it already.
Yes, sir.
So in a car or SUV, I don't care which one it is, you walking towards it. Yes. Whether you come from the back or the front, yes. Unless you playing with this the whole time. But even when you get in the car, to me, and I guess I'm used to it, I survey that car before I get in.
Yes, sir.
And at what point when you got to the daycare center, what was going through your mind to look in the back seat? When they told did you get out the car and they said you didn't drop them off? How did that work?
And the sad part, daycare, taking a child to the daycare. some daycares, if your child don't show up, somebody get a phone call.
Mm.
Unless you call in and say your child is not going to be there. Some daycares do that. So, so nobody got a call that this child is not in daycare.
Even when I had an 8-hour shift, if we went, Wiley Center is a little different.
Yes.
Because once we leave, we gone until we come back and we drive truck. But if you go into like the Walmart and you work, when you go on break, normally you go to your car or you go to the break room.
Yeah.
I seen, when I worked at Walmart, I used to go and sit in my car until the time. Now, I don't know exactly what she was working at.
Right.
But my thing is this. Your kid should be your first priority. You knew you put them in the car. Now, I know we get absent-minded, like maybe yeah. But when I got out the car, the first thing, this is the thing I'm tripping on. Now, I'm finna get in trouble now. I already know I'm finna get in trouble, but I'm gonna let me take this. Don't women do makeup in the mirror? So if you put the mirror down, doesn't it reflect what's behind you sometimes?
Yes.
So it's kind of hard for you to believe that.
But, even now, it used to be where they didn't have the mirror on the driver's side.
Yeah.
They didn't have that mirror.
Mm-hmm.
It was on the passenger side.
Yeah.
But now these cars have the one on the driver's side. So, can I get in trouble with you just for this?
Come on.
So
I'm already
even if you doing your makeup,
yeah.
now I have a mirror in mine.
Mm-hmm.
So when I flip that mirror, guess what? I can see behind my seat now.
Yeah. But what about the one sitting in the windshield?
Right. That's what. But see, now cars are so convenient.
Yeah.
That they got the mirror right there on your sun visor, right there in front of the driver's side. When you flip it, the back side it down, it's a little, little lap. You just flip it up, and you can see behind you too as well.
We coming off with all these scenarios. The analogy we're trying to make is, you don't forget to take this with you.
That's right. Yes, sir.
You never forget to take this, but something that's more precious than this. Can you imagine? Because I thought about this. How do you tell the mother that? Or the father? How do you tell them that? And what is their reaction?
Now you can see, this is like a conspiracy theory. If you're to tell them that, and you can stay around them after, you might want to call the firing squad or SWAT team out there. Kind of.
But how heartbreaking is that? When you get a call, that's something that could have been avoided, and we know it could have been avoided.
Yeah.
What? How do you react to that? I couldn't eat. My mama, when I was growing up, my mama never left me in the car. No matter what, unless she was like pumping gas, and she was standing right beside the car. When she went in the store, she told us to get out with us, or somebody was in that car with us.
That is true. I can't. Everybody's reaction is gonna be different.
Yeah. But it ain't good.
I probably never. I remember one time we was at Troy University, and we was out there doing a ministry. Mm-hmm. And right there at the Adams Center, you had to cross the street. So my little 5-year-old, he was like maybe 3, 4, and soon as if he hit the ground, he will take off. And man, and so just so happened that day he did. But at the time I seen him, but he's so they move quick, they gone now. Yeah. By the time I reached out there, grabbed him, it was a car coming. I reached out there and grabbed him just in time, and just from that little incident or that thinking or that thought of he being even taken away. Yeah. Then that was
parents.
Your response may be different.
I think everybody responds. Number one is gonna be shock. You in shock because you ain't. They did it
unless you're intentional.
And if you did it intentional, you got a problem.
Yeah, we got a problem.
You got a problem.
We know some.
That has been done intentionally.
Right, and and that's one thing we say this is something that you do as a daily routine. Yeah. If you got a baby or a child and you know that you happen to take a daycare, you and your spouse is going get up and discuss about who's gonna take them to daycare, or
Yeah.
y'all gonna discuss before you done got them, you done put him in the car and buckled him in and all of these things, fixed his bag or whatever you got to have their lunch, whatever you done did all these things for them.
Don't they take a
So-
bag to daycare?
Yeah. So my question is, you know, some people put the bag on the front
seat.
even put the baby bag on the front seat. Some put it in the back. So you done done so many things to be a reminder that you got to drop your child off at daycare. Where do you forget it? There's no sign. Hey, he's in this car with me.
I get out my truck, when I get out my personal truck every day, when I get in, I can tell you what's in my back seat every single time.
Yes, sir.
There's no doubt in my mind, and I'm not perfect, and none of us are. But there are some things, this is the thing I have a problem with. Not one person forgets to take their cell phone.
That's true.
But you'll forget a child in the back seat?
And you know, we're not just saying this to mothers.
Yes,
We're going to fathers, grandparents,
That's it.
whoever it is that if this is your daily routine. Now I can understand it'll be hard for me to believe that you're gonna forget even if you just asked to do it that one day. It's kind of hard, and you know, unless you had something that done really got your mind just so zoned out, so you can't even be in a reality that this child is in this car with you. I mean, your mind gonna be pretty.
Well, I read the article. I didn't see anything that would derail her day since she went to work.
8 hours.
8 hours.
The child at daycare.
Can you, at what point, and I know we talking to the viewing audience, and I know this is a very sensitive, touchy subject, but we got to be more responsible in that. And that not just for the woman in Virginia, that's anybody. Because we've heard this, one time is one time is one time too many. But we hearing about this.
But I read an article today. It's been a total of 15 this year.
That's way too many. Should be 0. 15 is. I watched the parent because they did an interview. I watched on TV. The woman didn't even know what to say.
Yes, sir.
You know, and I understand she didn't want to blame her mother for it. But who am I blaming?
I can't blame. I can't.
That's what I'm saying. What?
And truly, my heart goes out to the grandmother.
Absolutely.
If she truly forget, and she know in her soul, down in her heart, okay, my heart pours out to you because
She's devastated.
I realize you lost someone as well.
Yeah.
But, you know, I've lost my mom and my dad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and both of those losing is not in balance.
That's it.
It's a different feeling for each one.
That's right.
You know, no grief be the same.
That's right.
You know, now I can't necessarily speak as that I done lost a sibling. You know, I can't speak on that.
Yeah.
Or I lost a child. I can't tell you how you're gonna feel. I know you can hurt, and I can understand that part. But I can't tell you how you feel. I can't speak and necessarily say how I'm gonna react.
That's true.
I mean, you know, same with they're even in courtrooms where children have someone's killed someone's daughter, child, or whatever, and people get in the courtroom and they shut them in the courtroom.
Yeah.
You know, so I can't tell you how you're gonna respond.
It was just, to me, just thinking about that is, you know, just to think that I did, I'll just use myself as an example. If I did that, can you imagine the burden that's on your head that you just caused the life of something that you could have prevented? That is a heavy, heavy burden. And I don't know if I can deal with that, to be honest with
you. You know,
and I can just imagine what that grandmother going through.
Yeah, and like I said, our heart pours out to her if, you know,
If it's
tragedy
genuine.
is, you know, you know.
And there's no reason to doubt that she did. There's no reason to doubt.
Like
that
I said, we don't know if this is her daily routine or
Yeah.
this is something that she constantly did on a daily basis. You know, we're just speaking, saying that there are certain areas that somewhere some awareness should have came somewhere.
Exactly. There's gotta be some awareness there.
And like you speak on your phone.
Yeah.
I don't, you know, just before I got here,
Yeah.
A woman hit somebody on the car.
On your way here?
Wall.
Really?
Not on my way here, but I just heard about it in the store.
Okay.
But said that she hit me with Alpha Insurance.
Yeah.
Hit him right there, or hit him at Walgreens, and knocked him up to Alpha. So, you know, in the speed limit, the speed limit is, and you notice a lot of those right there. Everybody, and I mean, you'll see people riding down the road just like this.
I've seen it.
If you see people slow down, guess when you get upside them?
Texting.
Yeah, the phone is like this.
There's too much technology on these cars. You can hit a button and talk, and it'll text it for you.
Yes, sir.
And then it'll ask you, do you want to send?
Yes, sir.
There's no reason to put nobody else in danger.
But and you know, those are. That's a whole different subject and story. But you know, we do those are very distracting.
Very much.
You know, like you said, but you don't forget that phone in your car. Even for us, if we go out on if we leave our phone, we got to find someone to turn that truck around and come back and get it now, because that's our. But it's because that we need it for our job.
Yeah.
You know.
Now she could be. There's times that I've known people get into these heated conversations, and then you just get absent-minded.
Yeah, I can understand
that.
Yes, I can understand that.
Now I can understand if this was her first time taking daycare, because that's something.
I can agree.
But at some point, I don't carry no kids with me.
Right.
But I'm always looking in the back seat. Yeah. That's a habit I got. Yeah. And
now, unless you just a person that don't be aware of your surroundings.
Well, yeah,
you know, but now for me, I'm always looking at. Hey, there's too much stuff going in the world to not have just self-awareness when you get in your car. You know, somebody might be laying down in your back seat.
It happens.
Get them in.
It has happened.
You know,
we just got to be, as adults, we have to be more responsible with our kids, grandkids, nieces, nephews. I don't care who it is. You got to know. If I pick my niece and nephew up, I know they're in the back seat.
Yes.
Even before they was up to age to talk, I used to take them with me.
Yes.
But I knew they was in the back seat. I never left none of them in the car, and I never have that often.
And I mean, even when you just driving down the road, if you're looking forward, you can count your. You know, I don't know. Now this is my self-awareness, right? Even while I'm riding down the road, my vision kind of like I can see my mirror.
Peripheral. You see every whole surrounding.
And I can see in the back seat, you know, pretty much all the time. You know. So.
Unless you got a Suburban, and you got them in the third row. Behind
it's kind of dog back there.
No, I'm just throwing stuff out there.
And the car seat was down because the car seat gonna sit down a little bit lower, so you really ain't gonna be able to see it. So you know, and to me that wouldn't be a good idea in the first place. So you know, so we just gonna throw that one out there.
I'm trying to throw a line or something.
She might need one. She might need one. That one there just a woo.
That's kind of far fetched, but
it's 1,001 it can happen.
It's good.
Okay.
But it's just and we joke, but that's serious. This happens way too much. Now the ones that go in the grocery store and leave, because there's no excuse for that.
Yeah,
nail supply.
Because when you go in the store, you know certain stores you already know
you're gonna be in there.
You might say you're gonna go in there and get one thing, but by the time you get in there, you done found this. You found that, now that 5 to 10 minutes and turned to 20 minutes, and now it turned to 40. And now it's a whole hour.
And in 100-degree weather.
But
that's vicious.
But the worst part about it is even if you just go in there and come right back out, you cut the car off.
That's it. You cut the car off.
You didn't even leave the air conditioner on for the child. So that make it questionable. You didn't tell me you forgot about it when you went in the store, and I said this.
Now I've seen them leave their kids in the car, but the car is running. And you can see the air conditioner, and they got the remote to lock the doors.
Yes.
So I ain't gonna say nothing, but they're cool.
Yeah.
and nobody can get to him.
But, and I might do, I have done that,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So, but if that line is too long,
I'm gonna leave.
I'm coming back out anyway.
That's it.
You know, because I'll, you know, most time mine get out with me anyway, so.
You know the sad
That's the
thing.
first thing he gonna holler, Dad, I want a juice, I want a cake, I want something.
The sad thing about it is, and I hate to go there, they won't leave their dogs like that. They keep their car. They keep their car in there. They keep their car.
You get that dog, you get more time for that dog.
Oh, you'll get way more time for the dog.
You know.
Oh,
So
even
they tell you the only way you can idle a truck is you got to have a dog.
that's up there in Northeast.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the only way you can idle the truck.
I believe it.
And other than that, you can't idle your truck. You got to
So
run off the AP.
as long as the animal is cool, they don't care if you cool or not. Well, that's the law.
That's the law. But then now here's the difference. But as the parent, I don't care about you being left in this car. It's cool enough, and I know it's 100 and something degrees out here. I don't care now.
Evidently not.
That means you didn't need that child from the start.
You do need it. And trust me, we know we get absent-minded. But
But
there's some things that you get absent-minded that's going to cost you.
And see, I have a child, and I know if he's with me, then if he get out and he walking beside me, you know what he gonna do? He gonna walk around. I want this. I want this.
Right.
It's gonna be some sign that hey, you ain't beside me. Then every now and then, but guess what? He gonna disappear, but I know he going into the source, so I just walk over there and get him back over there with me all the time. So because I know he's supposed to be with me.
I just can't find
So
it.
I will take, you know, you got to be aware of them all the time, especially young children.
Just, I think, what house, 18 months, something like that?
Yeah.
18 months.
And they gonna make noise.
At some point.
You know, scream.
But you know they haven't interviewed the grandmother yet.
Talk, shaking the rattler.
We ain't heard that from the grandmother.
And it doesn't say. So,
I'm just saying that they done interviewed the mother.
as mama, I don't even want to talk to nobody.
Yeah, I don't want to talk to nobody.
Leave me alone.
That's the best thing to do.
Yeah.
And in my opinion,
Because ain't no word you can give to comfort me right now. Leave me.
well, there's no understanding right now.
So there's nothing you gonna get to comfort me.
No.
Yeah, we got zero understanding.
No understanding. Ain't nothing you gonna say I'm gonna actually listen to anyway.
And right now it's not good for me to be around you.
But I blame the news people. Why would you go to her anyway? That's the last person. And if I was man, I was no.
You know, because
We ain't doing this right now.
you don't. Why you won't see me this? I'm torn. I'm
Destroyed.
broken.
That's
A piece of me has been taken away from me.
that you can never get back.
I can never get back. Never. Not.
That's sad.
You know.
That's sad state of affairs. Well, Mr. White, we never get a lot of time here because these subjects just when it start flowing, it just start flowing.
You can give us a solution, so you know. It's our most popular giving an excuse.
Yeah, right. But I don't. But the point is the person that is you destroyed is the excuse gonna work with them. Okay. Well, that's another show for the Faith and Work Hour. We'll be back next week, same time, same place. 2 Fingers. It's your host Anthony Knight.
Christopher White.
We'll see you next week.